Welcome to the Nightly 5 podcast with Belle Taylor.
Britain's most prolific child killer, Lucy Letby, a nurse trusted with the lives of newborn babies, today found guilty of 7 murders and the attempted murder of 6 more innocent children.
Lucy Letby is known as one of the UK's worst serial killers. The 33-year-old was convicted last year of murdering babies that she was looking after at the Countess of Chester Hospital, where she worked as a neonatal nurse. It's a story that shocked the world. But now, a 13,000-word feature in the New Yorker magazine claims to raise serious questions about her guilt. The story has been blocked in the UK, a move criticised by at least one UK MP as being in opposition to the principles of open justice. The Nightly's Sarah Blake has been looking at this story. Sarah, what exactly does this New Yorker story say, and is there any new information?
It's a really interesting story. It's a 13,000-word investigation that they published on Monday, and it really has created some shockwaves. So, essentially, it asked the question about whether the sort of rush to judgment of Lucy Letby, that it ignored sort of a series of important evidence. Investigators sort of first seized on her as a suspect when they looked at the fact that Letby had been present in the ward on her shift at a time when there'd been a cluster of deaths and injuries of babies in this hospital. And what experts in this story are asking is whether or not the police have been so enamoured by the cleanliness, the cleanness of the statistics, that they had then avoided looking at the fact that it's entirely possible that no crime had been committed at all.
Well, the story does seem to sort of suggest that the hospital itself was in chaos. And that's
right. Yeah, so what we know about the British NHS, the National Health Service, is that it is completely falling apart. And there's nothing new really in that, and has been, the case for quite some time. So there had been across the whole hospital an increase in deaths, and there was a lot of contemporaneous evidence from other nurses and clinicians who worked at the hospital at the time saying that shifts weren't being covered, that mistakes were being made.
Yeah, and that Lucy, who lived nearby the hospital and was young and single, was the person always being called to take on those extra shifts, wasn't she? So the fact that she was always there, perhaps that wasn't as much of a smoking gun as it's been touted as.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of that wasn't heard in her trial, a lot of that evidence.
Yeah, interesting. Do you think this new information could lead to a reopening of the case in the UK?
Well, it will be interesting to see if this has any bearing on, there's a retrial for her coming up next month, so there'll be a lot more attention on this case. So it'll be interesting to see if any of this does have any bearing on it.
Yeah, it's a pretty fascinating case, and it's also been a case that has really struck the broader imagination. There's been so many podcasts about it and media interest in it, and you almost sort of wonder if that sort of maybe altered the jury's mindset of it. The name is everywhere. She's become a celebrity almost.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the face of evil really was how she was presented, and certainly what she's been found guilty of is utterly horrific, and, some of the evidence was just so chilling. It's the stuff of nightmares that she had, targeted multiple children, that she'd had tried, according to the trial. During the trial, we heard that she'd actually tried to hurt one particular little girl 3 times, and then it was only on the 4th attempt that she killed her. So it is truly harrowing, awful stuff. And obviously you've got to feel for these families who are having it all brought up again.
Absolutely. It's a really it's a compelling case, but a really, really horrific one with some very, very serious consequences. Thank you so much for chatting to me today, Sarah, and you can read Sarah's story on thenightly.com.au. Thank you so much.